Have you ever noticed that the smartest people in the room are rarely the ones in charge? You see them working late, solving complex problems and taking pride in their brilliant minds, yet they are almost always working for someone who seems far less intelligent. Why is that? Why does high intelligence so often become a prison rather than a key to the throne? The answer lies in a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature and the dark dynamics of power. We are taught from childhood that being smart is the ultimate advantage in life. We are told to show off our knowledge, our vocabulary, and our quick wit to impress those around us. But in the ruthless game of power, displaying your intelligence is actually one of the most dangerous things you can possibly do. It is a fatal trap. When you constantly show the world exactly how smart you are, you instantly trigger the deepest insecurities in everyone around you. You create silent resentment and you plant the seeds of envy in the hearts of your friends and colleagues. People who feel intellectually inferior will smile at you, but in the shadows they will silently plot your downfall because your brilliance makes them feel small. This brings us to one of the most guarded secrets of dark psychology and the absolute core of Robert Greene's 21st law of power, which states that you must play a sucker to catch a sucker and always seem dumber than your mark. Today we are going to explore why your high IQ might actually be a curse and how learning to play the fool will give you absolute invisible control over your enemies. To truly understand the lethal power of hiding your intelligence, we must travel back to the blood-soaked marble halls of the ancient Roman Empire. It was a time when showing ambition or brilliance usually meant a quick and violent death. The royal family was a nest of vipers where poisoned brothers and mothers conspired against their own sons just to secure the throne. In this terrifying environment, survival was almost impossible for anyone who stood out. But there was one man who managed to survive the reigns of 3 different tyrannical emperors without ever being seen as a threat. His name was Claudius. From a very young age, Claudius realized that his family was slaughtering anyone who showed potential for leadership. Anyone who was strong, smart, or charismatic was quickly eliminated by the ruling emperor out of paranoia. Claudius, however, was born with a few physical ailments. He walked with a slight limp, and he had a stutter when he spoke. Instead of trying to overcome these issues and prove his worth to his family, Claudius made a brilliant and terrifying decision. He decided to exaggerate his weaknesses and play the role of the village idiot. He would drool slightly when he ate, and he would act confused during important political conversations. He spent his time reading history books and pretending to have no interest in the real world of power or military strategy. Because he acted like a harmless fool, the ruthless political players of Rome completely ignored him. The Emperor Augustus considered him an embarrassment, but left him alone. The next emperor, Tiberius, saw him as a pathetic joke and did not bother to assassinate him. And the mad Emperor Caligula kept Claudius around simply to mock him and use him as a target for his cruel jokes. For decades, Claudius endured the humiliation of being treated like a half-wit by people who were intellectually far beneath him. He swallowed his pride and he kept his mouth shut. He never argued back when they insulted his intelligence, and he never tried to prove that he was actually a brilliant historian and a deep, strategic thinker. By swallowing his ego, he became completely invisible to the deadly radar of Roman politics. No one plots against a fool because a fool is not a threat to anyone's power. While the so-called brilliant minds of Rome were constantly fighting and killing each other for a taste of glory, Claudius sat quietly in the shadows, observing everything and learning the deepest secrets of human manipulation. His strategy of profound silence and simulated stupidity reached its climax after the brutal assassination of the Emperor Caligula. The palace was in total chaos, and the Praetorian Guard, the elite military force of Rome, was hunting down surviving members of the royal family. They found the stuttering, limping Claudius hiding behind a curtain in the palace, completely terrified. But instead of killing him, the soldiers suddenly had a thought. They realized the empire needed a ruler, but they wanted a ruler whom they could easily control. They looked at Claudius and saw the perfect puppet. They dragged him out from behind the curtain and declared this seemingly foolish man the new emperor of the known world. The joke, however, was entirely on them. The moment the crown was placed on his head, the stuttering fool vanished. Claudius slowly revealed the brilliant, strategic mind he had kept hidden for over 40 years. He quickly consolidated his power. He executed those who threatened him, and he went on to become one of the most effective and successful emperors in Roman history, expanding the empire and ruling with immense intelligence. He survived because he understood that looking smart gets you killed, while looking stupid gets you the crown. This ancient story perfectly illustrates the terrifying power of the intelligence trap. When you try to prove how smart you are, you give away all your leverage and you paint a massive target on your own back. But when you master the art of playing the fool, you disarm your opponents completely. You make them feel superior, and when people feel superior, they drop their guard. They become careless with their words, they reveal their true intentions, and they completely underestimate what you are capable of doing. This is the ultimate position of power. Now let us bring the brilliant and terrifying strategy of Emperor Claudius into the modern world and examine how the intelligence trap destroys people in everyday life, especially in the workplace. Have you ever been in a meeting where you knew the exact solution to a major problem while everyone else was completely confused? Your immediate instinct, taught to you by years of schooling, is to raise your hand and speak up and show everyone your brilliant mind. You want the boss to see how capable you are, and you want your colleagues to recognize your high IQ. But the moment you open your mouth and deliver the perfect answer, you are not winning respect. You are actually committing social suicide. In the ruthless hierarchy of the corporate world, the ego of your superior is the most fragile and dangerous thing in the room. When you display a level of intelligence that outshines your boss, you instantly make them feel insecure about their own position. They will smile and thank you for your input, but deep down a dark seed of envy and fear has been planted. They will begin to see you not as a helpful employee, but as a direct threat to their authority and their livelihood. They will start finding small ways to undermine your work. They will leave you out of important emails, and they will make sure you never get the promotion you actually deserve. All of this happens simply because you could not control the urge to show how smart you are. To survive and dominate in these environments, you must apply the 21st law of power and deliberately play the fool instead of giving the perfect answer. You must learn the dark psychological art of asking calculated dumb questions. When you act slightly confused or ask someone to explain something you already understand, you are handing them a psychological gift. You are giving them the feeling of superiority. People absolutely love to hear themselves talk, and they love the feeling of being the smartest person in the room. When you allow them to explain things to you, their ego expands and their defensive walls completely collapse. They stop seeing you as a threat and they start seeing you as an ally or even a dependent. Because they feel superior to you, they will become incredibly careless with their words, and they will start sharing sensitive information, office gossip, and their true strategies with you. They will hand you the keys to their kingdom simply because you made them feel like a king. This is the lethal power of hiding your high IQ. You let them hold the illusion of control, while you gather all the intelligence you need to quietly manipulate the situation from the shadows. This dark dynamic does not just apply to the workplace. It is equally destructive in your friendships and social circles. We all know that one person who always has to be right. They correct your grammar, they interrupt you to state a fact, and they turn every casual conversation into a debate just to prove their intellectual dominance. They think they are earning respect, but in reality, everyone secretly despises them. When you constantly correct people, you are subtly telling them that they are stupid and nobody forgives the person who makes them feel stupid. The intelligence trap ruins relationships because people do not connect with others based on raw intellect. They connect based on how the other person makes them feel. If your high IQ makes your friends feel inferior, they will slowly stop inviting you to things, and they will talk about you behind your back. But the master of dark psychology takes the exact opposite approach. When someone tells a story and gets a minor fact wrong, the master stays completely silent. When a friend explains a concept that the master already knows deeply, the master just nods and says, "Wow, I never thought of it that way." By suppressing the urge to show off your knowledge, you become universally liked and trusted. You become a safe space for people's egos, and because of this, they will bring you opportunities, they will introduce you to powerful connections, and they will loyally support you. They will do all of this because you make them feel incredibly smart, even if you are secretly the one pulling all the strings. The curse of high IQ is that it creates a massive blind spot. Smart people believe that logic and reason rule the world. They think that if they present the best argument or the most rational plan, everyone will agree with them. But the world is not ruled by logic. It is ruled by dark, turbulent human emotions like pride, envy, fear, and greed. When you rely only on your sharp mind and ignore the emotional insecurities of the people around you, your intelligence becomes your greatest weakness. You become predictable. Everyone knows that you will always try to be the smartest person in the room, so they know exactly how to trigger you and how to manipulate your ego. But the person who plays the fool is completely unpredictable. No one knows what you are truly capable of because you never show your full hand. You operate in a state of formlessness. When you make a mistake, people just laugh it off because they expect you to be a bit clumsy or slow. But when a genius makes a mistake, the world tears them apart with vicious joy. By lowering the expectations people have of you, you buy yourself the most valuable resource in the world, which is freedom. The freedom to observe, the freedom to plan, and the freedom to strike when no one is looking. The true genius understands that blending in with the ordinary crowd is the ultimate camouflage. Think about the most successful predators in nature. They do not walk through the jungle making loud noises and displaying their bright colors. They blend into the background. They move silently, and they wait for the perfect moment when their prey is completely unaware. When you act like a harmless fool, you are putting on the perfect psychological camouflage. You are walking through the jungle of human society without triggering any alarms. People will ignore you. They will talk openly in front of you, and they will reveal their darkest secrets because they do not think you are smart enough to understand or use that information against them. Little do they know you are silently taking mental notes of every weakness, every fear, and every hidden desire they have. You are building a massive psychological profile on everyone around you while they think you are just a simple-minded observer. This gives you a terrifying advantage. When the time comes for you to make your move, you will strike with such precision and such devastating knowledge that your enemies will never even see it coming. They will be left totally paralyzed, wondering how the person they thought was so simple could completely dismantle their entire life. There is another hidden danger of displaying your high IQ, and it is called the burden of competence. When you constantly prove how brilliant you are, you do not just attract envy, you attract endless amounts of other people's problems. In any organization, the reward for doing great work is simply more work. Lazy people and incompetent managers will quickly realize that you have the mental capacity to solve anything, so they will dump all of their responsibilities onto your shoulders. They will praise your genius while secretly using you as their intellectual pack mule. You will find yourself exhausted, burned out, and completely drained of energy, while the people who act slightly incompetent enjoy their free time and still get paid exactly the same as you. This is why the strategic deployment of stupidity is your ultimate psychological shield. By intentionally making small, harmless mistakes or taking slightly longer to grasp a complex concept, you train people not to rely on you for their heavy lifting. You manage their expectations downward so that your time and your mental energy remain completely yours. You become a master of strategic incompetence. You do the work that matters for your own advancement, but you remain blissfully useless when it comes to solving the problems of your lazy peers. This preserves your power and keeps your mind sharp for the battles that actually matter to your own dark ascent. Let us look at how this applies to the high-stakes world of negotiation and conflict. When you sit across from a powerful opponent, your natural instinct is to speak perfectly, to use complex vocabulary and to show them that you cannot be intimidated. But the moment you do this, you raise their defenses to the absolute maximum. They recognize your intelligence, and they immediately prepare for a difficult and brutal fight. But imagine the sheer psychological dominance of taking the exact opposite approach. When you walk into a negotiation and act slightly confused or overwhelmed, you trigger a psychological phenomenon called the superiority complex in your opponent. Because they think you are slow, they become incredibly arrogant. Arrogant people are sloppy and they always talk way too much. They will try to rush the deal, they will skip over important details, and they will reveal their hidden desperation because they assume you are simply too stupid to notice. They will drop their guard completely and offer you concessions they never intended to give simply because they pity your lack of understanding. You sit there nodding, slowly asking them to repeat themselves as if you are struggling to keep up, while in reality your sharp mind is dissecting every single word they say. You let them win the temporary battle of egos while you silently win the entire war. This technique is also the ultimate weapon against toxic people and narcissists. A narcissist feeds on your emotional reactions and your intellectual engagement. When you argue with them and try to prove them wrong using logic and facts, you are giving them exactly what they want, which is your energy. They do not care about the truth, they only care about dominating you and making you feel small. But when you play the fool, the narcissist loses all of their power over you. If they insult you and you just stare at them with a blank, confused expression, their attack falls completely flat. If they try to drag you into a complex emotional debate and you simply say that you do not understand what they are talking about, you starve them of the conflict they desperately crave. By refusing to engage your high IQ in their twisted games, you become an impenetrable fortress. They will eventually walk away in frustration, looking for an easier target, because your simulated ignorance makes it impossible for them to manipulate you. The greatest revenge against someone who wants to break your mind is to make them believe that there is absolutely nothing there for them to break. You protect your inner peace by sacrificing your outer ego. You must understand that true power is never loud, and it never needs to announce its presence. The loudest person in the room is always the weakest because they are constantly begging for validation and approval from the crowd. They are desperate for people to acknowledge their brilliance. But the master of dark psychology has completely detached themselves from the need for external validation. When you no longer care if people think you are smart, you unlock a level of freedom that most people will never ever experience. You can walk into any room and completely control the emotional temperature without anyone ever realizing that you are the one in charge. You let the fools argue, you let the arrogant boast, and you let the insecure show off their fragile egos while you sit back in silence and watch the entire human chessboard unfold before your eyes. You are no longer a participant in their petty games. You are the silent architect of their destruction. You hold the ultimate advantage because you know exactly who they are, but they have absolutely no idea who you truly are. Your high IQ is no longer a trap. It is a hidden dagger that you keep concealed until the exact moment you need to strike. Let us dig deeper into the concept of strategic invisibility, because society is explicitly designed to punish those who stand out too early. If you show your brilliant mind before you have the actual power to protect yourself, you will be crushed by those above you. This is the tragic fate of so many talented people who wonder why they are always passed over for promotions or why their innovative ideas are constantly stolen by mediocre managers. They failed to realize that their brilliance was a direct threat to the established order. The master understands that you must always disguise your ambition and your intellect until you have secured an unshakable position of power. You must wear the mask of the obedient servant, the harmless friend, or the slightly naive colleague. You let others take the spotlight and the glory, because the spotlight also brings intense scrutiny and deadly danger. While they are busy defending their fragile reputations in the public eye, you are operating quietly in the shadows, building alliances, gathering resources, and quietly removing obstacles from your path. When the time finally comes for you to drop the mask and reveal your true intelligence, it will be too late for anyone to stop you. Your sudden transformation from a harmless fool to a ruthless strategist will induce pure psychological terror in the hearts of those who underestimated you. They will finally realize that they never actually knew you and that you have been playing them from the very beginning. To master the art of playing the fool, you must first destroy your own ego, because the ego is the only thing that wants to prove your intelligence to the world. Most people are so insecure that they would rather look smart and lose power than look stupid and gain control. But you are not like most people. You understand that the ultimate goal is not to be admired by the crowd, but to be the one who decides their fate from the shadows. Think about the historical figure who gave his very name to the concept of the intelligent fool. I am talking about Lucius Junius Brutus, the man who overthrew the tyrannical kings of Rome and founded the Republic. In a time when the king was slaughtering every nobleman who showed even a hint of intelligence or ambition, Brutus realized that his own life was in constant danger. To survive, he decided to play the part of a mindless simpleton. He allowed the royal family to mock him. He accepted the lowliest tasks, and he acted so brainless that they literally gave him the nickname Brutus, which in Latin means the dullard or the stupid one. He wore this name like a shield for years while his family and friends were being executed for their brilliance. But while he was acting like a fool, he was secretly observing the corruption and the weaknesses of the monarchy. When the moment of crisis finally arrived, the simpleton suddenly vanished, and the most brilliant revolutionary mind in history emerged. He led the people of Rome to freedom, and he became the founder of a 1,000-year empire simply because he had the discipline to let everyone believe he was an idiot. The lesson here is absolute and unwavering. Your high IQ is a double-edged sword that will cut you deep if you do not handle it with extreme caution. From this moment forward, you must start practicing the art of strategic silence in your daily life. The next time someone explains something to you that you already know, do not interrupt them to show your knowledge. Instead, look them in the eye, nod slowly, and let them enjoy the feeling of being your teacher. Watch how their body language changes. Watch how they relax and listen carefully to the information they give you for free. The next time someone tries to provoke you into a debate to prove they are smarter, then you do not take the bait. Simply smile and tell them that they might be right, and that you need to think about it more because you find the topic a bit confusing. By doing this, you are not losing the argument, you are exiting the game entirely and moving to a higher level of power. You are choosing to be the hunter while everyone else is busy being the peacock. You are saving your mental energy for the moves that will actually change your life, while the fools around you are wasting their strength on vanity and pride. You must also learn to embrace the loneliness that comes with this level of mastery. When you play the fool and hide your true self, you will eventually realize that you are operating on a completely different frequency than the rest of society. You will see people as they truly are, transparent and easily manipulated by their own insecurities. This can be a cold and isolating realization, but it is also the most empowering state of mind you can achieve. You are no longer a victim of social pressure or the need for approval. You are a ghost in the machine, You can move through any environment, whether it is a high-level business meeting, a social gathering, or a complex family dynamic, and remain completely untouched. You possess the greatest weapon in the history of human conflict, which is the ability to be underestimated. Use this power wisely and use it ruthlessly. Never reveal your full potential until the result is already guaranteed. Let the world have the applause and the recognition while you take the territory and the gold. Remember that the greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he did not exist, and the greatest trick you will ever play is convincing the world that you are not smart enough to defeat them. As we reach the end of this deep dive into the intelligence trap, I want you to look around your own life. Identify the people who think they are smarter than you, and identify the moments where your own ego has led you into a trap of showing off. It is time to drop the burden of being the smartest person in the room and pick up the weapon of the strategic fool. If you have the discipline to follow these laws and the courage to let others look down on you, you will eventually stand above them all. Power is a game of patience and perception, and by mastering the art of the invisible mind, you have already won. Now I have a final question for you that will reveal your true potential for power. Are you willing to be called a fool by everyone you know if it meant you could quietly control everything they do without them ever knowing it? Or is your ego still too strong to let the world think you are anything less than a genius? Think carefully before you answer, because your future depends on it. If you found these dark psychological insights valuable and you are ready to master the hidden laws of power and human nature, then you must join our circle. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson in the art of the shadow. Your journey into the deepest parts of the human mind has only just begun, and there is so much more for us to explore together.